let's talk about Facebook. There are 3 really good opportunities on Facebook, okay? The first is your personal network, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. The second is a business page, which some of you may have or may not have. And the third are Facebook groups, okay? Let's talk about your personal Facebook page where you're connected to everybody in your kids' community or in your, your car club or your golf club or whatever, okay? I take everything that you put on LinkedIn, you can also put on Facebook. Why not? It's there, right? Unless people are making obnoxious comments about you, and then I would just unfriend them. But I would put everything you put on LinkedIn on Facebook too. There's no harm in doing that, because those people may not be connected to you on LinkedIn, and you just never know where your next client is going to come from. So I would put everything on your personal. We're talking about your personal Facebook page now. On your personal Facebook page, also, if you want to, that's a great place for, writing about your 9/11 experience. I would put anything family related that you want to on there, even if you're connected to professional people. That's what Facebook is about. So I tell people that I use Facebook. Am I connected to you on Facebook? I tell people that I use Facebook so that my parents can see what their grandkids are doing. You know what I mean? Like they eat it up. Like they're all that stuff. Put as many pictures of your kids on there as you want. Cat pictures, go nuts, whatever. If you're a dog person, put dog stuff on there. And people who are connected to you on Facebook, that's what they're there for. And I'll tell you something, if there are business people on there, you'd be amazed. Like you can bond over stuff you see on there. Okay? So the personal stuff is great, but don't think that's not business marketing. Okay? That's your own time. Do that on your own time. Whatever free time you have, 2:00 in the morning, you want to put stuff on Facebook, that's fine. Don't think you're doing anything to help your business development. That's just a bonus. Okay? Now, a Facebook business page is different. You don't necessarily need it because you have the resources of the firm. However, the utility that a Facebook business page gives you is if you produce a lot of content, I have my Facebook business page set up so that the stuff that I post every hour on LinkedIn goes up on my Facebook business page as well, in case there are people on Facebook searching for what I do. I only put maybe 1 or 2 posts a week that I write on my Facebook personal page because I want to remind people who I am and what I do there, but I don't want to wear them out with it. So the Facebook business page is useful in that it can also be a repository for content. And if you ever decided to run Facebook ads, the ads will be linked to your business page. Okay? So you would need the business page to run ads. What is the value in Facebook groups? Facebook groups, you can create a community of like-minded people and share valuable information with them in Facebook groups. Let's say you had people who were interested in real estate investing, and it was, residential real estate investing or multifamily real estate investing. And you created a Facebook group for that. They would have to go to you and request to become a member of that group, okay? And then discussions would ensue. I could see an opportunity for you to answer a few questions in a Facebook group and then get people who are investors to retain you to do some work. You guys pretty much, you're at a higher level than that. So I don't know that that's going to be that valuable for you. But there is utility in having a community online all discussing the same thing or similar things. So if that was of interest to you, that would be the place to go. Now there's a fourth opportunity on Facebook, but I'm not as high on it as I am on other places, and that's doing Facebook Live broadcasts. I would much rather see you do a live broadcast on YouTube, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the Facebook Live utility is probably the most advanced live broadcast right now on all of social media. However, your clients would have to log into their Facebook account and then connect to you in order to participate in any discussion that would go back and forth. Yeah.
One question I've had that kind of applies to both Facebook and LinkedIn I think Kelly and the firm do a great job on posting content, but I always notice that there are very few likes. And do you think there's a negative connotation if somebody posts something and there's only like 3 or 4 likes? Does that kind of suggest it's not very popular? I mean, I don't know if there's a strategy to kind of increase the circulation.
Yeah, so that's such an interesting question. I get this more from a YouTube standpoint. When we talk about YouTube, I can explain that a little bit in detail. On Facebook, especially with a business, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
It was actually more towards LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn, no, because remember, only a fraction of the people are actually seeing it, right? So that's why what I do with my LinkedIn stuff, I use a tool called Sprout Social. You can also use another tool called Hootsuite, and there are enterprise-wide tools that you can use that will post your stuff. I post my stuff. The first week it comes out, I post it every other day at different times for 7 days, and then I post it once a month over and over and over again because I know that people aren't seeing it. Remember, only a fraction of the audience is seeing it. So if you posted something and all 30,000 people in your network saw it and nobody liked it, I would say it was a bad piece of content. But if you're posting something and 50 people are seeing it, like 2 people liking it, that's a pretty good ratio when you think about it, because probably only 5 people read it. If 2 out of the 5 liked it, then, I can't tell you how irrelevant likes on social media are to anything we do in real life, but it's a brilliant concept because we're all under-recognized as humans. So when we see somebody click on something that we posted, it's like it's reaffirming to us that we've done something valuable, right? I would do not get hung up on that ever, and if you start worrying about taking it to the next level, worrying about other people's perception of it, oh man, I think you'd never leave your house. You'd be like an agoraphobe because you'd be like, nobody likes me.
I look at other firms, I look at other companies, and it's 5,000 people liked it, and some of ours.
So there's a I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I'll share something with you. So there are 2 ways that happens. The first way it happens is you have an absolute ogre of a person running marketing who tells everyone they need to like everything, and then they just run from office to office and go, listen, you got to like this post. It's really important. It's going to boost it, right? Which is a huge waste of time. It's unproductive for everybody. The second way that happens is there's a whole cottage industry of people who you pay for the likes. So you can buy 1,000 likes on any social media platform like that. And to me, look, it defeats the purpose. There's no value in that whatsoever. So, are there good posts that go viral that people really like and comment on legitimately? Absolutely, that happens all the time. But that's like catching lightning in a bottle. So I would not worry about it. Your self-esteem has to be so strong that you never care whether, look, I post great pictures of my kids all the time that, I get like 4 or 5 likes, and I'm like, how can you not like that picture? We're human. That's what happens. But
I feel like I've seen too that you can do like promoted posts too. So you have a piece of content and then you pay basically to circulate it in groups.
Right.
And all of a sudden you can have something that might organically have 10, 15 likes or whatever, and then it goes into the 200 because it has now been exposed to 30,000 people versus our actual organic network. Like we've never paid for followers or subscribers or anything like that. It's all been organic. And we go back and forth of whether or not it would make sense to do any like a bigger push. But right now it's all organic. So our base versus like a Free Frank or whatever.
But you have huge authority in real estate. So people are going to want to follow you to see what you're posting anyway.
Right.
The firm has tremendous authority in the area of New York City real estate. So if you're not following the firm, you may miss out on something important. So that authority is what gets you a lot of the engagement you see online. Nobody knows who Dave Lorenzo is. So
that's part of the reason why, although I follow you, like you had a couple pictures of you and your wife, I didn't like them because I know, I did not like them, but people look to see what you like, right? And if they see something interesting, then they start following it. And if I like too much of your stuff, then it's gonna,
No, I get it. No, I totally get it. So,
nice pictures,
thank you very much. I try to only post nice stuff. I have like the police force, between my mother, my mother-in-law, and my wife. I know right away if I posted something and it comes down. Yeah, absolutely. I gotta be so careful,
Yeah.
you know. And when that's the other thing, okay. And I will strongly caution you about this. If you have some wacky friends, okay, you got to be careful about bringing your business people onto your Facebook page. And I police my Facebook page because, like, there are some people out there that I don't know what they're going to post, and people judge you by the company you keep, right? So, and I've struggled with this over the years, whether I, like, for example, I unfollow a lot of people, but I keep them as friends on Facebook because I just don't want to get sucked into the stuff they talk about. My biggest concern is in the comments. So I post something, and then I get somebody going down a rabbit hole in the comments, because I have friends. I have Democratic friends. I have Republican friends. God bless you. I have Jewish friends. I have friends of the Islamic faith. I have Catholic friends. And, I mean, it's worse than being at a cocktail party, because people say things on there they would never say to somebody's face. The anonymity, it's not even anonymity, it's a perceived veil. It's stupidity is what it is. And I go in there and delete stuff and blast people offline all the time, because you don't know who's going to see that. It's foolish. It really is foolish. Let's talk about Instagram. Is everybody okay for moving on from Facebook to Instagram? I love Instagram as a form of media. And one of my big initiatives for 2020 is to focus more on Instagram. And it's purely selfish. I started posting 1-minute videos at the beginning of this year, and they did so well. The challenge for me was, I do a longer form video every day on YouTube. I can't keep up with the longer form video and the 1-minute video. I can't do both every day, so I opted for the longer form, and we'll talk about YouTube in a minute. But Instagram is tremendous because there's a lot of interaction. Now, it skews younger than all the other forms of social media right now. But typical of social media, there's usually a lag effect. And, you know, people who are like, Brad and I are real hip, so that's why we're on Instagram, right? But as it becomes more, I don't want to say mainstream, because it is mainstream, but as people start to bring other people in who are older and more established, I think Instagram is going to do very, very well. I think the video capability will probably be expanded to longer than a minute. With stories now, you can do longer than a minute, but the visual nature of it and the instantaneous nature of it lend it very, very nicely to an effective social media platform. 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I recruited, and this is no joke, an entire baseball team for my son. I recruited an entire, he was 7 at the time, 7-year-old baseball team in 60 days just using Instagram. And what I did was I posted a picture of him and the 4 kids who had left the other team, and I posted a picture of them training with a really well-known pitching coach who lives in Florida, who we trained with. And I said, if you join our team, you'll get instruction from George Correa once a week. Also, we focus on fun, not just on winning. And we were flooded. I literally advertised it for maybe 10 days. And we were flooded with people who were interested, kids who tried out. And it was, I put up a geographic fence around it with just zip codes within our drivable area of the league we were playing in. And we literally recruited an entire team. We had more kids than we needed just by using Instagram. Also, my wife has a group of people she's connected to on Instagram, and she'll post like questions about stuff, and people answer them. So it is it's a social tool that has great utility. So hashtags are crucial on Instagram. So the hashtags are very important. And what you have to do is you have to do your own research and figure out which there's software that you can pay a little bit of money for that will help you do the research. You have to figure out what hashtags are important. The way I do it, the cheap way, is I go look at my competitors. So when I was like recruiting for the baseball team, I went to look at the baseball teams of all the teams that were in the league that we would play, and I went through all of their followers. and I started following them, and I commented on pictures they would post, and I looked at the hashtags for the stuff that they were engaging in, and I did it that way. So, a baseball team is easy to do that with because it's a very discreet and it's a very narrow area. I could figure out exactly how to do it. If you're doing it for business purposes, like if you were, let's say you were a photographer or a weight loss person or a fitness guru, what I would do is I would focus on my competitors, look at the hashtags they were using, and try each of those hashtags and determine which gave me the most traffic, determine which gave me the most engagement.